Welcome to the first part of this isometric bedroom. This will be our goal that we are working towards. It will be in multiple sections. Let's get started. We will start by deleting the first two sides and the top, so we get our view into the interior, and go over to your modifiers and place a solidify. I'm just going to scale the room up. I'm just scaling mine up and changing the thickness to 0.13. I will also be applying the solidify modifier, so I can apply the space where the lamps are gonna be and just create a loop cut and pull it outwards. I'm gonna place another loop cut so they don't intersect with each other. Let's create one of the floorboards. Simply add a cube and scale it down. After adding the cube, place it down and drag it to an edge, and then extrude it outwards that it fits the floor. And if you accidentally click the room at the same time, just separate it with Alt and P. And to get the right size, extrude it to one of the sides, and as you can see, I've set my dimensions. On the x-axis 4.77, the y-axis is 0.42, and the z-axis is 0. Afterwards, go into your modifiers and add an array, and set the axis that you are moving the floorboards on to around 1.01. And let's add a bevel to the floorboard. I'm setting mine to 0.004 and the segments to 3. This way I think we get a little bit of curve. There we go. And let's just push it down a little. Next up, let's add a cube for our dresser or the cabinet. And I'm just marking out around how big it should be. Let's also create one for the bed table. Simply copy our earlier object. And let's make a vision of the bed also, to see how it should be, how it all fits in. I think this is a good size for the bed. Next up, let's create a mirror. Start by adding a plane and rotate it. And let's see, just pivot it a little bit. and then extrude it on E and place a loop cut and place it around half of the half, and then extrude down the edge. So this is gonna be the leg. Let's also extrude this outwards and join those empty vertices into one cube and scale it, and then click on the faces on both sides of the leg so that we can extrude it, and delete the faces, and then connect those vertices again so that we have a frame instead of just a block. As you saw there, I am using loop tools to connect them, so I can right click and join. You can find them under Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and just click Loop Tools. It's installed in Blender. To make a list, simply take the face of one of the floorboards and make a loop cut to take a part of that plank. After that, click one side of the board and extrude it upwards so we have that piece, and then bevel the top face on that with Ctrl B, and deselect all the parts that you don't need so that you can copy that part over and place it on the other side as well. So if you're taking a look at the cabinet, we'll need to make the drawers first, so add 3 loop cuts and 1 in the middle. So for the first cabinet door, click all of the faces, and let's do a scale first, and then click all of the faces and press I to insert it. Same goes with all of the drawers. Click I to insert them and click I again so you get the individual ones instead of it being one total. Afterwards, just pull them out a bit and go into edit mode and press E to extrude them. And let's add a bevel. I set mine to 0.12. And if you didn't get the cabinet door, simply left click on the door and left click on the drawers, and then hit Ctrl L and link modifiers, and add a bevel to the cabinet door and the cabinet itself. So I've decided that I wanted to make the drawers also, because if we can have some of them pulling out just a bit, I think it will look better. So extend the extruded faces longer inwards, and next click to all of the top faces, insert them and extrude them downwards on set. And remember to click the top face and not the bottom face. Afterwards, click L on the drawers that you want to pull out, and it will select them, and press G and the axis you want to pull them out on. Now you can put some items into the drawer, and we'll be doing it by just placing some cubes and some cylinders, just so that it can give the effect when we put some color into it. Maybe it will look like cloth, and simply copy them around and scale them a little bit on the x-axis or the y-axis, just to get some different pieces. Add some cubes, add some cylinders. Next up, let's go to the bedside table. Again, in the front face, again remember to scale it and insert the front face. And next up, insert a loop cut and pull it up, and make another loop cut a little under the middle, and we will insert the middle and pull it inwards, so you have a hole. And for the top one, we will separate it and extrude it inwards. Add a bevel to it. Mine is set to 0.12 and 3 segments, and use another loop cut and press. Afterwards, add a loop cut and click Ctrl B to add a bevel, and delete the faces in between so you have two objects, and then connect the vertices on the two new objects so they have the correct edge. Next up, click the back face and extrude it inwards. Click the top face and insert it and pull it down on the Z-axis so you have the drawers. And the same thing goes for the bottom drawer. I also clicked on the table and clicked on the drawers and used Ctrl L to link the modifiers so that you have the bevel on it too. Same thing goes here for the bottom drawer. Extrude it, insert it, and pull it down. Let's add some legs to the tables. I'm gonna add a cylinder and scale it down. And right click and auto smooth, and then pull down the face a bit so you get this cone shape. And then you can bevel the edge. You can also just click the face and bevel it, and use your mouse wheel to change the smoothness. Next up, copy the legs and move it over to the bedside table, and add a mirror modifier and use the eyedropper to place on the object. Next up, copy the legs and move it over to the bedside table, and add a new mirror modifier. Now right now a lot of the objects are, so let's make a group and put them in. I will click on all of the objects that's regarding to the cabinet. Next up, let's place these two in a group for themselves. Press M and new collection, and call it whatever you want. I'm gonna call my bedside cabinet. I can then, if something is missing, I can just press M on the last object and put it in that collection so that I can hide it. Same thing goes for the dresser or the other cabinet. I'm also just gonna call it cabinet, just so you know you have them in a collection. Not sure I'm gonna be doing this with all of the items. Otherwise I will wait until the end and we'll do the cleanup there. This has been the first part of the tutorial. If you're still watching, thank you. I will be uploading 2 videos a week for this course. If you're enjoying it, please do leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.